Hello, hello. This is Ronda Winstead with you. I hope you are having a wonderful day, afternoon, morning, evening, night, whatever time that you're viewing this. Excuse me. I haven't coughed all day. I start the video and guess what happens? Just one sec. The air is getting pretty dry here. Okay, so today I am working on a design team project for 49 Dragonflies. This is highlighting the German vintage envelope fronts. This is a new digital that Barbara has in her shop, so I would encourage you to go take a peek and see what she's got. I will also use some of her other digitals, and I'll have those listed in the description box below the video here so that you can go and access. But I'm super excited about this, and I've already gone ahead and I've done a what do you call it when you do one up first? My brain is just not quite working. A sample or anyway. So I cut these out, and I'm not quite sure what happened with my printer, but maybe I had different kinds of paper in there, but it printed differently. So, you know, it will just depend upon your printer, I suppose, as to how it looks. But either way, it looks great. But this is what we're going to make today, you guys. I just wanted to do something fun, something that you could put in one of your vintage journals, just a fun page. And I have made pockets, as you can see, out of these envelopes. I love it so much. So you can, of course, use this as a journaling pocket. I've kept these blank. You can decorate them. You can do anything you want, obviously. You can put pictures in here. You can put little letters in here. You can put tags. You can put other journaling cards. The sky is the limit, really. So let's get started. By the way, how are you? I hope you're doing well. I hope that this video is finding you healthy, happy, and busy. Okay, let's just cut between, and we will just get started here. And what I'm going to do, I am really trying to make my videos a reasonable amount of time for two reasons. And I think I've mentioned this previously, but I don't mention it in every video, so you may not have caught it. Is that, number one, the longer the video, the longer it takes to process the video to be able to get it up on your YouTube channel so that other people can see it. So that's one of the reasons. And the other reason is I'm trying to be respectful of your time and not take up a huge amount of time if I can help it. I mean, there will be projects here and there that it just is what it is, but I'm going to try anyway to keep them, in a reasonable amount of time. We'll see. We'll see how that works, because the truth is, I do love to be here with you guys. Yeah, you're an important part of my life. And I love creating, and I love it when you're here with me. And I like to think of you here. When I'm creating, obviously I can't see your faces. I can't hear your voices. But afterwards, I do read your comments, and it just, it just makes me feel closer to you. And so, and my channel isn't big enough at this point to where I can't answer you. I know that if it ever does, that, that I hope that you would just know that, I love you, even if I couldn't answer everything. But that isn't an issue at this stage of the game for me anyway. And it's just, I like to hear what's going on in your life. I like to hear what things you're working with, and I love your comments and what you have to share with me, on the things that I create. And I'm hoping, for the most part, that it will be a little bit inspiring. Not that I, know everything, because obviously, I don't know a lot of things, but I do enjoy the creative process. I love to combine mediums. So anyway, and I didn't even talk about the design team aspect when I was telling you what my plans were for the new year. But obviously that is also one of my plans, is to be a part of that and to do one of those, at least one a month for Barbara. Okay, so this is what I started with on this particular one. I just took a regular sheet of coffee dyed paper and folded it in half, and I used a stamp to create my background. This is the stamp that I used. But, whatever you want to do, or you don't have to, that is, that's not a big deal. So, before we do anything with that part, we need to put some backs on our envelopes so that it's not smushed. If we put, for instance, let me just show this. If I put this down just like this, and I stitch or I glue that down like so, it's really hard to put much in that pocket because it's so close. It's just really tight. But as you can see by this, that's not really tight because I have flaps. I've created flaps on the sides and on the bottom. And that's what we're going to do so that we have some space to work with. Okay, so for that part, I don't mind just kind of using some scraps. And so let's just get some scrap papers. So what I'm doing, where are they? Here they are. First of all, I'm going to decide which ones I'm going to use. I don't have room to use 4. Well, I could, but if I used 4, then you wouldn't get to see much of this deliciousness with the envelope, and we like that. We like the deliciousness, right? Okay, so the last one I did the 2 darker ones and used one of the lighter ones, and I don't know that it matters really that much. Okay, let's do this. So basically, and this, it really isn't difficult. I mean, it takes a minute or two to actually do it, but it's not hard by any stretch of the imagination. So what we're doing is we are just gluing this to put on another piece of paper that we are then going to create the flaps for. Okay? So, let me make sure I've got this in so you can see that. Let's see if that, I don't know if that helps or not. I'm trying to adjust my light, but okay. And now I am gluing this a little bit. And these envelopes aren't exactly straight because they, you know, they're old. They have had some wear and tear on them, but we can still work with that. That's not a problem. Okay. So you saw what I did. Now what I'm going to do is get a straight edge, a ruler, and I am going to trim it just the same size as my, or the same height, width, whatever. Going to trim it just at the top here so that it, you know, you really don't see it up above that. Man, was that rough. Trim it along the edge, the top edge. Whew. You see this, and we're going to create one on this side as well. This is going to become our flaps, okay? Now what I'm doing, well, let's get a smaller one here so you can see it a little bit better. So I'm just kind of lining it up along the edge here, and I am going with my, I guess this is a Monday. What can I say? It is a Monday. I can't think of anything today. Wow. Now what I'm going to do here is I want to try to keep the envelopes the same width. Okay, so they line up pretty nice, you know, pretty well on the page that I'm going to put them on. So I just want to double check and see how this is going. And so I'm thinking that 5 inches here is that's good. So I'm going to go ahead, and I can see that this is a little crookedy, but that's okay because the envelope, like I said, it's not even, and it is old. Okay, so, and let's see, and this doesn't really matter so much, although I think what I'm going to do is line up. I think I may trim this off just a little bit here because I do notice that I think it will look just a little bit better. Like I said, it's, you know, this is fairly easy to do. It just, you know, it takes a minute, but this is something that you can just do while you're relaxing, you know, from other more difficult projects. Okay, see what I've done here? Now these are going to be my back flaps, and this is going to be the bottom flap. And so I'm going to cut this little corner out. And to do that, I'm going to angle and come into that point. And then angle this and come into that point. And do the same over in this corner on the other side. And this will, okay? Easy peasy. So, we'll continue So I'm going to go ahead and continue doing this with the other two, and I'll be back. Okay, I have cut around and I have glued each little bottom flap. I put my bottom flap up over and just glued on the ends. You want to make sure you don't glue this down all the way, otherwise, you know, whatever you put in your pocket won't be able to fit down. Okay, so now at this stage, if you want to, you can go ahead and ink around, and you don't need to worry about the back because that's going to be glued down, and that won't show. So let's go ahead and get our paper that we had earlier. And now we will just stamp. And I'm going to do the same thing that I did on this one. I like that. I think it looks nice. So I will just do that around the edge, and whatever it is that you want to do, go ahead. And let's see, I want to have a bleeder page just in case. And you won't see the inside, so you really don't have to worry about that. And on this one, we'll just go ahead and go all the way across. I don't know what we'll do with that, but and that looks nice. I like it. As long as we've got that, let's go ahead and do this one also. And we will just so I am recording this on Monday. It won't show today. I'll have to see if I can get it up for tomorrow, or it may need to wait till Thursday. But I will be going to I have my infusion tomorrow. Have to be there at 9 for labs, and then 9:30 for I'm usually there 2.5 hours, somewhere in there. Okay, so let us, and I like dividing the light and the dark, putting the light one in the middle. So the first one that we want to position is the top one. Okay, so let's just go ahead and let's just do that. And I will glue down there. This is actually a very heavy piece of cardstock that I backed these onto. I have had a bunch of papers I bought from a gal on Instagram. And I bought them some time ago, and I've used some, but I haven't used all of them. And this is from, kind of that stack. Alrighty. So we just glue around, and I'm just going to position this kind of in between. Try to have it fairly level. Hopefully. Yeah. Okay. And let's see. About down in there-ish and down there-ish. Okay. So you just kind of eyeball it, you guys. You see what you want to do, and go ahead and just, here again, we're just gluing this down. This is art glitter glue, in case I haven't mentioned that. And I use mostly 3 different glues, and the fourth would be my two-sided, my double-sided tape. Oh, and I remembered, this is a stylus. Yeah. Sometimes my brains work. Sometimes. I don't know. They just kind of, they elude me. They're dancing somewhere, but not where I can access. Okay, there's number 2. See how easy this is, you guys? I mean, really. The one thing that I wouldn't do is make sure that this is nice and dry before you start poking in, you know, your tags or papers or that kind of thing. You want to make sure it's nice and dry. And you can also add little clips at these, you know, these points here to help it. But I haven't really needed to do that. But if you want to make sure that it's just really good and solid, that is something that you can do. I wouldn't recommend sewing this. This is one of those projects that you really do want the pocket to expand, or at least I do. And that will help it do that. Okay, so here we go. So I want to try to keep it even, and okay, here we go. Yeah. Isn't that pretty? I just love this. This is so fun. This would be great just as it is. But if you want to decorate it a little bit, then you certainly can. You can see here what I've done. I have used some more of Barbara's. She has these wonderful vintage, and I reduced it down, these cabinet cards, and I reduced them in size and then cut the image out from the card itself. These are also some butterflies from Barbara, and I also reduced those. And then this says My Story. This is also one of her words or phrases on black that she has. And like I said, I'll have all the links in the description below. These are also, she has these wonderful, I'm in the process of cutting them up, so they're kind of in a mess, but you get the idea. There's plenty to work with. So we've got those, and this is also another digital of hers, some florals. And then these, I just pulled some extra stamps. I pulled a couple of extra stamps just to make it fun, and added to the one that was already here. Okay? So, the other thing that I do want to do while we're still doing, I want to show you one other thing that you can do, and we'll do that with one of these extra envelopes. Okay? Doesn't matter which one we use. So we're going to create the front and the back. And this is one that you can, if you want. Let's see, I think we'll do it this way. Let's do it this way. Okay. Let's just go ahead. And this one, we're just going to make a pocket. And it's something you can put Happy Mail in. You can use a paper clip to put it. Now we can decide if we want to, which I don't think we need to, but if I wanted to make this extra, I could glue it down here, so this could become a flap you know, that folds over. Well, I guess we can do that. We'll just do it, guys. We'll just do it real quickly. Okay. And we're going to fold this up. Let's see. We're going to fold this up. Okay. Now, this is where we're going to use the bone folder again. So I'm going to just get a straight edge, get a ruler, something that you can kind of see through so you can mark your lines. Okay? And obviously you want to score it, but you don't want to do it so hard that it breaks your paper. And then we'll do the same on this side. Let's do the same here. And we will just, okay. So I think we will cut this part away. So I am just trying to be careful. As some of you have already found out or have known for some time, cutting without my rotary cutter and my mat board isn't, you know, that's not my strong suit. And I apologize for the lighting here because it is actually, it's dark outside now. And, oops, ooh, well, I kind of didn't do that very well. I didn't see that very closely. Okay. So we will have to fix that. I cut in a little bit too much. So now this, I'll have to fold that to make that work. And then we'll fold this flap in. And this will come over. And let's go ahead and see if we can... The shadows are like, oh my goodness. So let's just do a score line. I think that'll be pretty good. And I have to trim this off. Where my score line was, I'm going to trim that off. Okay. And then we fold over and we have got our envelope. Now what I will do, and sometimes this doesn't work so well if you just try to do it by itself. So I am putting another little piece of cardstock and I'm giving myself just a flippy-doo. Okay, so it'll be easy to open. And the other thing I'm going to do is just trim this nicely. Just a little bit to give it just a little nicer look. Okay. So, there we go. And that looks just a teeny bit crooked to me. So let's see about maybe straightening that out. There again, the envelopes aren't perfectly straight. Okay, that looks pretty good. So we will just glue this up on both sides. And we'll get the other side. So you can have a lot of fun with this project. Just super easy. just something fun and relaxing. And then of course you can edge around there with ink around it. And if I had done this correctly, there would be just a little teeny bit of space on that side as well. I'll still use it, but you can make it with the edge on it so it looks really nice. Okay guys, I think that is it for this video. So here's one that's decorated. Here's one that is just as attractive, that's just left plain, so you can decide how you want to proceed. And you can even do, things like this. We can put this in here. See these great pockets that we've created. So, all right, thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. I love you guys and hope that you have a wonderful rest of the day. And we'll see you next video. Bye now.